Hi, Booker. Let me. Nice to see you again. It's been a while.
Good to you.
I've been asked a bunch about how we met,
Hmm.
and what the circumstances of us getting to know each other was, and then how this record came about. And it's kind of a circuitous story. And I was wondering, yeah, I was just, what is your take on that? Do you remember like what made how we met and why you asked me to be on the road from Memphis?
Yeah, about 15 years ago, I think maybe 2005, looking for someone to sing with Sharon Jones. Olivia had written this song. Olivia is my daughter manager, representing Memphis to some music I had, and looking for a duet partner. And Andy Calkin, a friend of mine,
Who- Yeah.
suggested you, and you said yes. And so you flew to New York, I guess, and but we that's where we met, New York, and you and Sharon,
Yeah.
Sharon Jones.
Andy was the person I kept trying to remember who suggested me to you guys for that song, and that's you just answered it. Thank you. Yeah, that was how it kind of that's how we connected, and then I remember. Am I right that right before I arrived, Lauren Hill had just been there and stepped
Yeah,
out?
she's a big Questlove fan,
Yeah.
and she was hanging around the studio because Questlove was there 2 or 3 in the morning. He was the drummer on the project, so
But she also is on the record too, right? I think she is, or she did.
no,
And
that
his
wasn't her. We had somebody else sing. No, that part.
Oh, okay. Because I don't remember, but I remember coming. I remember that when I arrived and I got out, and the elevator doors open, and Lauren Hill was standing there, and she let me out. And that was kind of what like stepping through the looking glass. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." And then I went into, I think that I was really confused about what all happened there. Am I wrong?
I'm 75 years old. Your memory may be better than mine. There were a
I
lot of
don't. It's
people at
definitely
the
not.
studio that night. You may be correct,
And
actually.
I also trick
Yeah,
me also if I'm wrong. And Lou Reed had just been in there,
yeah,
and then and a lot of this is in your book, Time is Tight, that you kind of tell about that when we met and stuff. But yeah, and then I remember my experience that I've been telling is that I went into it. It was there was a lot of people. Nan was there. I don't
yeah,
remember if Olivia was there, but Nan had a bottle of wine for me right away. And then
yeah.
Questlove and everybody's in there, and then Sharon Jones comes in, and she's just immediately like a sun walking into the
Took
room.
hold of you, didn't she?
Uh, well,
Yeah.
well, I mean, she was in such total control, and you guys, you wanted to do it live, the song together, where we'd sing into the same microphone. And I remember I'd never done that before, and she's shorter than I am, so the microphone was set up to her height, so I kind of had to bend over, kind of like
Yeah.
at a right angle, and
Yeah.
sing in
But Sharon's not with us anymore, right?
Yes, yes, yes. No, yeah, and that's why I have reflected on that hour I spent with her, maybe at the most, and with you guys in that room, and the fact that I was able to have that experience with her and you all at the same time was, I thought a lot about that, and yes, miss her very much, and thank you for giving me that opportunity, and that
Welcome.
led to this like 10 years later kind of and then the story I've been telling, and maybe you can have your side of it, is that in 2018, right before Christmas, I really wanted to make a covers record, or I wanted to make an album of covers,
Mhm.
um, and in the vein of Stardust, the one that you produced and arranged with Willie Nelson, and
Mhm.
so I wrote to you on I think around December 18th of 2018, and I clicked
Mhm.
on the management button on your website because I hadn't stayed in touch with you. And I think the next day or a day or two later, Olivia, your daughter, who is now your manager, I don't even know if she was your manager way back 12 years ago, but she wrote back right away and said, yeah, you'd love to be involved. And then I said, well, would you like to want to produce and arrange it? And then within 2 days, we had this idea of making a covers album.
Mhm.
Um, and then from there, it just kind of evolved into a combination of covers and originals, and it gets really blurry for me remembering that
Mhm.
moment when we switched to focusing on originals. But I don't know. What's your take on all that?
It was you sent me in spite of you and those covers, and then you sent me Love So Little. And then you
Was that the
sent me
first one I sent you? Love Solo.
Distant Axis.
And then Distant Access.
Yeah, all the ones before that. So that's what turned the tide to doing the album that we did. I mean, we still, yeah. And I'm looking at my notes here, and my eyes a T-shirt. You changed the, you sent me that, and then you sent me In a Minute.
Which changed the
Oh,
name to Take Me Out of Town. That was the original title for Any Minute. Or Any Minute was the original title for Take Me Out of Town. Yeah.
right. And then you sent me Let It Be. That was the game changer.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
Mhm.
Let It Be isn't even on the record. That's on the
Yeah.
bonus, and that's a original that I wrote with Mike Brewer,
Right.
and I called it Let It Be in that
Yeah.
because a lot of people have taken that title, and yeah, that's an original one. Yeah, I couldn't remember which originals I sent you, and
Yeah.
then they weren't necessarily the ones that fit together the best for the album because I kind of wanted the record. We wanted the record to be not too long and like
Mhm.
Stardust isn't too long and yeah.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how it. But we recorded all of those things in the same like
Yeah.
2.5 week period. Right.
Yeah. In Spite of Me, we did another cover. And then Matt and I met Matt, or Mike rather, I'm calling Matt. Mike, Big Mike came and played, and we met, and yeah, that was great.
Do you remember? There's another a moment I remember when I walked in one morning and you were there before me, which was not uncommon, and you were playing guitar and you just said, "Come here, sit down," and you started playing a riff. And you said, do you know this? And I said, no. And then you taught me Big Bird by Eddie Floyd. And then we
Oh
covered that. Remember that?
yeah, 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 yeah. I
I
do.
feel like, and then we did that like in
Hmm.
2 hours, kind of, and
Yeah,
or really quick,
yeah.
and then done.
That was because when I first talked to you, that was the first song that came to mind when we first got on the phone together. I remembered that, and
Why? Do you remember why that song?
that just popped into my mind because I wrote that with Eddie Floyd, and that's the music that came to mind when we
Yeah,
doing covers.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
this
do
one.
you?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of funny moments. Let's just jump around to just moments that I thought were really funny. Do you remember when we tried to cover "Sabotage" by Beastie Boys? So you remember that? We aborted it pretty quickly.
Who was playing what? Who was?
You were playing Hammond. There's recordings of it. We'll have to ask
Oh,
Sean.
okay. Mhm.
We aborted that really
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
quickly.
yeah, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
then we tried. Then we did the Cure's "In Between Days," which just actually was just released a couple of last for a Democratic get out the vote. Well, just to get out the vote thing. But we did that one. Do you remember that one? The Cure's "In Between Days."
I do. I do.
Yeah, that one. That's all going to be. That's already out. But so all the covers we did are going to come out in the bonus stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
I remember that. I enjoyed that.
yeah, and I remember you loved that one so much, but I felt weird. I thought we were because the Cure's original has this like 16th note guitar thing, and
Mhm.
we did a whole different take on it. And I remember I was singing in a real stiff sort of way, and so when we were finally done with this all these covers and records, I felt like that one we hadn't finished it. But I remember you loved that so much. So a few months or a few weeks ago, I went and re-sang it, and I had Julia Laws sing on it, and so you should check it out now. I think Sean will send you a mix, but now it's really special, and so. But yeah, all those covers are coming out along with the Serpentine Prison 10
And,
song
and
original.
holes also, right? Did you
Holes.
just?
Well, Holes came out already. The Mercury Rev cover Holes. I released that for a Planned Parenthood
Yeah.
compilation. And yeah, so a lot of the songs are already out there and doing good work.